So this is day 11 of the US-Israel war on Iran, and the stakes have jumped dramatically as American and Israeli strikes intensify. Tehran also saying it is changing the rules of missile war. Iran's Revolutionary Guards now vowing to launch only monster missiles, warheads weighing at least 1 ton, designed to overwhelm defenses. Our next report bringing you the latest.
The air war is intensifying. American bombers and Israeli jets continue pounding Iranian targets. Military facilities, launch sites and command centers have been hit as the conflict enters its 11th day. Israel warns that the attacks on Iran are set to increase.
Our aspiration is to enable the Iranian people to cast off the yoke of tyranny. Ultimately, it is up to them. But there is no doubt that through the actions taken so far, we are breaking their bones, and there is more to come.
My friends, the people of Iran, the goal of these attacks is neither freedom nor democracy. Their goal is the partition of Iran. They want Iran torn into pieces and weakened. Let us not forget these words.
But as the bombs fall, Iran is signaling a dangerous retaliation, not with more missiles, but with heavier ones. Iranian forces say they have launched 33 waves of aerial attacks. As part of their retaliatory action named Operation True Promise 4, Iran's powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps made a striking announcement. Brigadier General Majid Musavi declared that from now on, no missile with a warhead weighing less than 1 ton will be launched. That means every missile fired will carry double the explosive force used in earlier waves. Iran says it launched 10 Kheibar-series missile rockets towards Tel Aviv and the US 5th Fleet base in Bahrain. Kheibar-series missile is one of Iran's most advanced weapons, solid fuel, road mobile, launch ready within minutes. It can travel roughly 1,450 kilometers and descend at extreme speeds while maneuvering to evade interceptors. The missile is said to reach speeds exceeding 9,000 km per hour. Until now, these missiles typically carried warheads weighing around 450 to 600 kilograms. Iran now says the payload will double to 1 metric ton. That single change dramatically alters the economics of the war. Intercepting ballistic missiles is already expensive. A single Patriot PAC-3 interceptor costs roughly $4 million. A third interceptor costs more than $12 million. Israel's Arrow 3 system costs several million per shot. Heavier warheads mean larger blast zones. That forces defenders to fire more interceptors per incoming missile. More missiles intercepted, more money burned. And the consequences of a single miss become far greater. Analysts say Tehran is no longer choosing between missile quantity and destructive power. It is deploying both. Previous missile and drone barrages saw interception rates as high as 70 to 90%. But the real test begins now, because if every incoming missile carries twice the explosive weight and even one that slips through, then that could change the battlefield instantly. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
And And going straight across now to John Wick, joining us on the broadcast, Executive Director, Concerned Veterans for America, Marine Corps and Navy veteran. Thanks very much for being here. I have to start off by asking you for your comments on what we are looking at unfolding on the ground right now. When it comes to the way Iran has been retaliating, also what do you make of the concerns that have been raised, that have been doing the rounds about America being able to actually keep pace with its interceptors, being able to defend against Iran's cheap drones?
Yeah, well, just talking about the interceptors, I think that it's been very interesting, not just seeing how America has responded in Israel, but also how some of our Gulf partners, such as the UAE, have responded to this. We've seen Iranian Shahed drones shot down with chain guns from helicopters, right? These are relatively slow-moving, to your point, inexpensive munitions, and there must be a better way, right? And a lot of folks in multiple militaries, including America, Israel, Gulf partners, have been finding new ways to destroy these things without spending very expensive interceptors that we would like to reserve for larger ballistic missiles or some of those monster missiles that you discussed just now. More broadly, I think the key is for America to decide what success looks like. Over the past 11 days, we've seen Iran's ability to terrorize the region absolutely devastated. Its air force is gone. Its navy is at the bottom of the sea. Its leadership structure has been more than decimated. I like to say, I don't know if you're ever familiar with Star Trek, the old series, but the ones in the red shirts on away missions would always end up getting killed. I mean, that's basically the Iranian leadership right now. They're down to their back of the
If I could just come in here, where you say that the Air Force has been effectively decimated, what exactly are you basing that on? And how is it then that Tehran continues to retaliate in such a manner? We're also talking about, like you just said, the use of monster missiles. We're looking at the way Iran has been carrying out those attacks across the region. Also, the decision and the tactic in a way involving warheads weighing at least 1 ton designed to try and overwhelm the defenses of the US and Israel.
Sure. So when I say Air Force, I mean conventional air forces like with airplanes, helicopters, that sort of thing. There is absolute air superiority over Iran right now on behalf of the United States and Israel as well. Now, Iran's ability to launch missiles is not completely destroyed, but it is over 75 or I believe 80% diminished at this point. One of the things that we saw after the attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities last year in 2025 was the decentralization of some of these capabilities for exactly this reason, right? That decentralization of its ability to launch means that even after prolonged strikes, you can take an asset that Iran has not used yet, that's been tucked away, and then launch a few missiles before forces get there to destroy that. I think too, though, again, like going back to what we want to accomplish as a country, as America. To be clear, I think America and Israel could cease all operations today, this moment, and Iran's ability to export terrorism around the world through its proxies would still be set back by years. I don't think that's President Trump's plan. But I think it is important to decide what success looks like. I think it's important to avoid putting boots on the ground, to send in troops on the ground like we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. I think that's a slippery slope. And also, I think public support matters a lot, too. In the United States, right, we have to pay for this thing. So you can do this for 10 days or up to 60 days, I believe, under the War Powers Act. But at some point, there needs to be a supplemental funding source for this. And right now, this is a very partisan issue in the United States. So I think the best thing that the administration can do, that President Trump can do, is say, here is exactly what we want to see change. Whether that is regime change, nuclear deproliferation, or erasure of all the ballistic missile capability. I think once we set those parameters and decide what success looks like, we're going to have a much more public confidence in this campaign.
All right. We're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast.
Thank you.